Behind every powerful army stands a knight with sheer loyalty and mysterious origins. In our case, this is the blood red commander Igris, but that's all we really know about him, right? The anime didn't go in depth about anything other than the encounter with Jinwoo, which leaves us with so many questions. Make sure to get comfortable because you are not gonna want to miss the lore behind his character. This is the story of the blood red commander Igris. Let me explain. It all started long before humanity. The absolute being, that horrifying statue we see, created what's called the rulers, an angelic race of warriors with one job: keeping the universe safe from chaos. They were powerful, unwavering, and deeply loyal to their creator, designed to be guardians of order itself. But even in a world of perfect light, shadows can creep in. Among them was the Ashborn, a powerful ruler with unmatched strength. But Ashborn didn't see the universe as his creator did. In time, he couldn't ignore the feeling that he was nothing more than a pawn. Finally, in a choice that shook the very foundations of the universe, Ashborn abandoned the rulers. He turned his back on their light and embraced the darkness, transforming into the Shadow Monarch. His choice didn't just break the ranks of the rulers, it unleashed something unpredictable, a chaotic force they'd never prepared for. Ashborn built his own army, shadow soldiers, to serve him in this new dark order. And within this army rose an elite few, loyal only to him. One of the strongest was Igris, a knight with an unwavering code of duty and loyalty. His life from that point on became one constant battle, bound to the Shadow Monarch's command as a warrior who would now serve not the light, but something far darker. Before he became a shadow in Ashborn's army, Igris was more than just a knight. He came from a noble background, known for his honor and skill. People actually respected him and feared him in equal measure. In his world, he held a high position, a warrior guided not just by strength, but by a strict code of honor that made him stand out. There were whispers that Igris was once part of an ancient guard or order, sworn to protect something he valued more than life itself. It wasn't only his title that made him memorable, it was the way he fought. Igris wielded his sword with unmatched skill, each move precise, blending strength with control. His attacks weren't reckless or wild, they were carefully executed. Every strike was deadly, but also carried a sense of honor. To his allies, Igris was a symbol of loyalty. To his enemies, he was a disciplined and relentless force. Anybody who saw him in battle knew they were facing a true knight, one who lived by his own code of duty and respect. But despite his noble past, things were about to change. When Ashborn appeared with a power beyond anything Igris had known, he faced a choice that tested his loyalty to its limits. Ashborn's vision of order and strength matched Igris' code perfectly. Seeing Ashborn's unbreakable will, Igris chose to join him. His crimson armor became a symbol of his new allegiance, earning him the title Blood Red Commander. For Igris, this wasn't surrender. It was a new way to keep his code alive, bound to a master he could fully respect. Now, the great wars between the monarchs and the rulers tore across ancient realms, shaking the foundations of all existence. It was brutal, endless struggle, with both sides fighting to dominate and reshape the universe. The monarchs, led by Ashborn, the Shadow Monarch, faced the rulers' relentless force in battles that left entire worlds in ruins. Amidst the chaos, Igris stood as one of Ashborn's most trusted and fearsome knights, side by side with his master and the other shadows. He fought without hesitation, his crimson armor a blur on the battlefield, striking fear into the hearts of his enemies. Igris' loyalty to Ashborn ran deeper than blood. It was something unbreakable. Even as the war descended into scenes of horror, he remained by Ashborn's side, never faltering in his duty. His enemies feared in ruthlessness, but they also saw something rare, a knight who fought with a strange respect, even for those he defeated. Despite the bloodshed Igris held held onto a sense of honor and almost chivalric respect that set him apart from the other shadows. He was a relentless force, but he was not without principles, a trait that only added to his fearsome reputation. As the war dragged on and Ashborn's forces suffered heavy losses, Igris's resolve only grew stronger. Even when it seemed like Ashborn's army would be destroyed, he continued to fight, a lone figure of loyalty in the face of overwhelming odds. His devotion wasn't tied to victory or defeat, it was tied to Ashborn himself. For Igris, protecting his master was everything, even if it meant standing alone. This unbreakable loyalty would become his legacy, a loyalty so fierce and enduring that it would echo even after the war, cementing Igris's place as a legend among the Shadow Monarch soldiers. When the Great Wars finally ended, Ashborn stood among the remnants of his once mighty Shadow army. Though he had survived, the toll of endless battles and loss weighed heavily on him. He began to realize that his time as a Shadow Monarch was nearing its end, but his legacy, his vision for a balance of strength and loyalty, needed to endure. So he made a decision that would shape the course of countless lives to come. He would seek out a successor, a human worthy of inheriting his powers and responsibilities. But finding such a successor wasn't a simple task. Humans were fragile compared to the ancient forces Ashborn had faced, and few could withstand the power of the Shadow Monarch. Knowing the search would be long, and that he would need someone to guard the path to his legacy, Ashborn turned to one of his most trusted knights, Igris. Unlike other missions, this was not one of battle, but of waiting, of watching, and of testing. Ashborn entrusted Igris with the sacred duty of identifying a human strong enough in both body and spirit to wield the Shadow Monarch's power. It was a task of patience, a challenge unlike any Igris had faced before. From that moment on, Igris's purpose shifted. No longer a warrior bound to the front of lines, he became a silent guardian, a sentinel waiting for the one of Ashborn's legacy. This mission would not be completed in days or even years. It could take centuries, but Igris accepted his duty without question, bound by loyalty to his master's final wish. He prepared to wait, standing watch in hidden realms, a solitary figure of patience and vigilance. Time would pass, civilizations would rise and fall, but Igris remained, holding on to his duty with unwavering dedication, ready for the day when the Shadow Monarch's successor would finally appear. After Ashborn departed, Igris took upon his solemn task, slipping into the shadows of hidden realms, bound to wait for the one who could inherit the power of the Shadow Monarch. For years upon years, he remained unseen, an unyielding guardian existing outside of the eyes of the world. This wasn't merely waiting, it was an eternal watch, a mission that demanded patience and dedication. Though he no longer fought in grand battles, his role was just as important: to observe, and when the time came, to test the worthiness of Ashborn's chosen successor. Now, over time, whispers of the blood-red knight began to spread, drifting into legend. Hunters told stories of a mysterious figure in crimson armor, a silent, merciless force hidden in the shadows, whose loyalty to his unseen master was crazy. They spoke of his terrifying strength, a warrior who would appear like a phantom, only to vanish as quickly as he'd come. To many, he became a figure of fear, a deadly knight who would test any who dared to approach his realm, rumored to possess a combat power that could rival the most seasoned fighters. So for some, he was a myth, for others, a warning. But Igris was far more than a skilled warrior. His abilities went beyond just sheer power. In his years of silence and solitude, he honed his ability to judge character, a skill that was crucial to his duty. He could sense a person's true nature, discerning strength, loyalty, and honor in those who cross his path. Having this sense allowed him to see beyond appearances, granting him the ability to recognize qualities that might align with Ashborn's legacy. To those deemed worthy, he showed respect, even if they were enemies in battle. His sense of honor, as timeless as his watch, defined him as much as his strength. Thus, the legend of the Blood-Red Knight was more than a tale of strength. It was a story of loyalty, judgment, and honor. And while he waited in the shadows, his reputation continued to grow, a silent promise to the one who would one day be worthy of his test. But in the human world, whispers began to spread of a hunter rising from the ranks, an unknown figure who was defying all expectations and growing in strength at an astonishing rate. His power was unlike anything we've seen before, and his resolve seemed unbreakable, drawing the attention of ancient beings hidden within the shadows. Among them was the Blood Red Knight, who watched this new hunter from afar, sensing something different, something worthy in his aura. For the first time in ages, Igris felt a shift, a subtle call to fulfill his ancient duty. It was during a critical battle that their paths finally crossed. Jinwoo found himself in a realm beyond his understanding, facing a figure cloaked in red armor, with an air of both menace and respect. In that moment, Jinwoo had no idea he was standing before a legendary knight, bound by a loyalty stretching back eons. But Igris knew exactly who he was looking at, a potential successor, a human who might just be worthy of the legacy he has guarded for so long. The test he had awaited was about to begin. As they clashed, this wasn't just a fight for survival, it was a trial of character and strength, a proving ground for Jinwoo to reveal his true nature. Igris pressed him relentlessly, not with just raw power, but with a precision and intensity that forced Jinwoo to dig deeper than he had ever before. Each strike was a question, each defense was demand for proof of Jinwoo's courage, his loyalty, his unwavering resolve. Igris was not just testing his physical power, he was challenging the very core of Jinwoo's spirit. For Igris, this battle marked a turning point. For Jinwoo, it was a trial by fire, a moment that would shape his destiny. Their encounter wasn't just a battle, it was a rite of passage, a moment that would set the course for both their fates and bridge the gap between the ancient shadow and the new rising force. As the battle raged on, with each clash and every strike exchanged, Igris began to see something undeniable in Jinwoo: strength tempered by resilience, a resolve that refused to break. This human, this warrior, wasn't just powerful, he possessed an inner fire, a dedication that Igris recognized, one that mirrored his own devotion to Ashborn. This wasn't an opponent to defeat, this was someone worthy. Slowly, a shift took place in Igris's heart, a deep respect taking root as he realized Jinwoo might be the successor he had waited for all along. With this revelation, his fierce resistance melted into loyalty. At the peak of their encounter, Jinwoo, recognizing Igris's change, made his move. He performed the Shadow Extraction, an ability that would transform Igris into a loyal shadow-bound soldier to Jinwoo's command. In that moment, Igris's essence was reborn, not as a mere shadow, but as a steadfast ally, a warrior ready to stand by Jinwoo's side. His past allegiance to Ashborn wasn't erased, it was given a new purpose. Igris now took his place as one of Jinwoo's closest and most loyal shadows, his crimson armor and legendary skill a testament to his unbreakable loyalty. From that point on, he was simply Igris. No grand titles or ancient symbols, only a name spoken with the highest respect by the one he now served. He became a living symbol of loyalty and strength, the embodiment of both the ancient wars and the ideals that Ashborn had entrusted him to protect. In Igris, Jinwoo found not only just a soldier, but a timeless spirit of loyalty reborn, carrying forward the legacy of the Shadow Monarchs. With each new battle, ready to protect his master and face whatever challenges may lay ahead. Igris' journey took him from a noble warrior in his own realm to Ashborn's fierce and loyal knight, and finally to Jinwoo's unwavering shadow. Each stage prepared him for this path, sharpening his loyalty and honing his sense of duty. Igris' dedication is timeless, a bridge between Ashborn and Jinwoo, showing strength rooted in loyalty and honor. His story is one of resilience and purpose, a true knight who stands as a symbol of chivalry in every era. If Igris' journey inspired you, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as it would greatly help me. Have a great day.